What's up, everyone? My name is Rapha, aka Rhett and Rapha. Alright, if you here because you just saw my newest life update video, you came to the right place. But if you're seeing this for the first time or you just randomly saw the title about an update on a documentary film, still, you came to the right place. This is a brand new update video on the documentary film that I have been working on for now 5 years. I cannot believe it. Time flies by. And I have posted 2 of these videos, these update videos on the documentary, one in 2023 and last year, 2024, which is coming around the 1-year mark that I posted that. Once again, time flies by, which I think I will say that phrase a lot in this unfiltered, somewhat unedited vlog. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, for those that do know or need a little bit of a reminder, or you're just finding out about this for the first time, I am the producer and co-director, and I'm not going to go through the list of hats that I wear for this documentary, and it's titled For the Community, and it's spelled with a K because if I spelled it with a C, people will think, oh, it's a documentary about the series Community. No, there is a little bit of a meaning why I spelled that. And if you're a fan of these 2 certain guys named Rhett and Link, there's a reason why. And I'm not going to go through the whole story about what the documentary film is about. If you've seen the brand new trailer, which just dropped, well, not just dropped. I mean, it's been quite a while. I dropped it in September, which 2 months. Time flies by. You get a little bit of a taste of like how many years it has taken to film this, what I call soon to be masterpiece. I mean, like I said, I have been working on it since 2020 in the middle of the, let's just call it the Panera or the Panasonic or the Panini. If you know, you know. And if you've seen the trailer or I'll just tell you what it basically is in a Cliff Note version, or just say the random Rapha version. It's about the history and journey of the fans of Rhett and Link, which Rhett and Link are legendary entertainers and host of the most watched show on the internet, and in my own humble opinion, best show in the entire world, Good Mythical Morning. And if I was filming it in my creative workspace, you'll probably see lots of collectibles and things related to all things mythical. Well, I'm wearing mythical merch right here, so yes, I'm consider myself as a fully devoted, fully supportive Mythical Beasts, which is a plus while working on this documentary film. And I have, like I said, I have been working on it for now 5 years, which 2 weeks ago was the 5th anniversary of the first week of filming for the documentary, which all started in North Carolina, Buies Creek, North Carolina, where Rhett and Link first met, where they started their careers, aka where mythicality started. And since then, the first week of filming for the documentary, it has grown to become bigger than I could possibly imagine. It went from a 1-person crew, me, with a small camera, and now I'm having a team filled with amazing creatives, artists, and Mythical Beasts, that's their name of the fans, who have been helping me making this possible. And throughout the 5 years, I've traveled to, yes, North Carolina, California, Burbank, Los Angeles, Anaheim, Cleveland, Indianapolis, Atlanta, Nashville, Orlando, Panama City Beach, Las Vegas, Dallas, and Austin. Austin is a very special one. A little bit of a factoid. About a few days ago, it was the 3rd anniversary of Mythicon, which was Rhett and Link's first and only, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to say only for that time, but it was their first convention that was made for the Mythical Beasts, the first ever mythical convention. And I was one of the few that attended the convention Mythicon in Austin, Texas in 2022. And boy, you'll see that in the documentary, which I think you'll probably see a glimpse of that in the trailer that I posted. And of course, there will be in this film lots of stories and interviews of the fans that interviewed during my travels and online. And you'll get to see dancing in the documentary film, a creative way to connect the narrative of the documentary film and just show tribute to Rhett and Link's music and the music videos through dance. And there's 7 of them that will be connected through the documentary film. And last but certainly not least, if you probably don't know, based after seeing the trailer, or you have not heard the news, or you have, it is official that the Rhett and Link are in the documentary film. Yep, I have kept this secret for 2 long years until the trailer dropped. And still, during this journey within a journey that I've been on, working on this documentary, I cannot believe it that I got the chance, the great opportunity to go to their studio in Burbank, California, and interview Rhett and Link, listening to their stories and their perspectives about their fans. Now, as someone who's done a lot of research on this documentary, I have watched a lot of interviews that Rhett and Link have done, and they're very some of them are like really great. I mean, not some, all of them are great. I mean, throughout the years, and they talk about their fans, but not as much as in this interview that I did back in 2023. And I just want to say, when you see their interview on the film, you're just going to be amazed beyond amazed. And I don't think that phrase is not the right words to describe it, because it will just like, it's so hard not to give too much away, because I have worked on that scene right there. It's so touching, it's hilarious, and of course it gives you a different perspective about, you know, their fan base and Rhett and Link in general. I mean, you're gonna love it. But yeah, it's, as I said, it's a journey within a journey, which is a phrase that's going to be featured in the documentary. And we just wrapped up with production just a few weeks ago, and we are in post-production. But here's the thing. This is where we are as of right now while I'm filming this. Yes, we are in post-production, but we do have a certain deadline to finish it. Originally, it was supposed to be done in the summer, but as I mentioned in the life update vlog, this past year has been a lot. I've gone through a lots of ups and downs, not just project-wise or being a content creator, but for me personally, that has taken a toll on my physical health and mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, and even like financially. Then I'm going to touch on the financial part. So this documentary film has been self-funded. The majority of the film has been self-funded by yours truly, and the rest of it comes from fundraisers, crowdfunding, whether if it's online fundraisers, which they're still up and running, or in-person fundraisers. Did some over the years, throughout the 5 years, and I just hosted one just recently last week in my hometown, and it was at a mini golf course, and it was really fun, and of course lots of really great to see some Mythical Beasts from my hometown, which you'll see that in the documentary. I filmed in my hometown in Sweet Home, Lower Alabama, but it really just touched my heart just to see Mythical Beasts from my hometown attending it and supporting. Really made my, brought a little bit of hope right there. But going back to what I said about fundraising and crowdfunding and self-funding, I have been providing all the funds, from every paycheck that I've received in multiple jobs I've had, to provide for the documentary. And in the past, it was not a problem, but what I was faced this year, it was too much for me to try to provide. And I thought I was able to bounce back, but with what I'm facing, it was very tough. So I don't want to just put on another year to not be able to finish it, delay it for another year, because of what I'm going through, and just understandable. It's important to prioritize your mental health and your well-being, but at the same time, with the story that is so relevant today, yes, is about the history and journey of the fans and Rhett and Link's legacy. It's about how the world needs to learn from this incredible fan base about unity, which we need a lot more of that these days. Understanding ourselves and accepting ourselves and learning about ourselves, and creativity, which you will see a lot of that both on the screens, and I'm saying screens for a certain reason, and behind the scenes. And that this story or stories needs to be shared to the world, and especially for next year, which is going to be a very incredible year for Mythical. One of them in particular is they're going to premiere their 3,000th episode, and of course on Good Mythical Morning, and lots of ventures, creative ventures for the company and for Rhett and Link themselves. And I want to release the film during that time. And I will talk about the goals for the documentary film when it premieres in 2026 in a moment. But going back to what I said about as in finishing it up, it needs to be done well, not rushed, not not procrastinating and just like dilly-dally, just like here and there, not have like a very set, how would I probably say this, not to be able to just like, oh, we can probably do this, not go this ho-hum type of thing, like, oh, we can possibly do this. It needs to be set in stone before it goes into the next thing. And that's what I'm trying to do as the producer and co-director and everything every single hat that I wear to make this film possible. But I don't want to spend the rest of the time worrying about funding. I want to finish the story. I want to make sure that everyone involved with the project will do their own given task to help finish the film with me. But with the time that we have, as I said, it was originally supposed to be done in June, but things changed, and then I wanted to set the goal, the deadline, to be in the end of this year, 2025. But realistically, if we try to rush things through, the quality of it will just go flat. So the deadline is now going to be pushed until March, which means that we need to get, and I mean my team, need to finish about 50 to 75% of it before 2025 is over. And then the rest of it will be done in mid-March. Now, this is the reason why it needs to be done in March. So one of the goals when the film is finished is to apply for film festivals. And originally when I said that I wanted to have this finished in December of this year, there were film festivals that I want to apply for. Their deadlines were in January, February. But due to time and because of, trying to rush things through, I'm not a fan of hustle culture, by the way, there was just no way to be done. And of course, with post-production and editing, all that, it's even a bigger task than it is for just filming, especially when you have team members from different parts of the world helping you making this possible. But there was I was sad that I would not be applied for this film festival and that film festival. So, but there are a few film festivals that are qualified for any awards like Oscars, BAFTA, Canadian Screen, and even some film festivals that might possibly present or select a documentary film like this for their festival. And their deadlines are in March through May, which is a very convenient time to have the finish before then, so we can apply that, because their film festivals are in the fall, August through October. And that means, when I said screens a while ago, we are aiming to have the film premiere at these film festivals. We're going to try to get at least 3, presented by 3. Either 1 or 2 of them will be selected for an Oscar qualifying or one of these big awards, because I really like to see, this is a huge dream to have this film be eligible to get nominated for an Oscar for 2027. But that is the goal right there. And then after we do our festival run, will premiere the film on YouTube in November. Now, I know that I have talked with some people that are part of like a special committee for those that I've interviewed and for those that are helping me, working with me on the documentary film. I have talked with them about, yes, it's going to be a long wait, but I am working out some private screenings in certain cities, depending on where most of like the people can like travel a certain radius to see private screenings for this. And there is a rule, and I think if you're a filmmaker or you have like understanding about like distribution or premiering independent projects, if you try to do a screening, like a paid public screening, but then your film is selected to premiere at a film festival that is Oscar qualifying, that film would not be eligible to be nominated for an Oscar. So we wanted to just do the film festival run first, then do the private screenings in at least 5 cities before we premiere it on YouTube. And of course, like if, let's just say, just throwing it out there, if the film festivals was selected, you know, let's just say for September and October, we get 3 of them, then that means that we'll just do like 1 week of like screenings, do a little bit of tour of like the private screenings, maybe public screenings, and then premiere it on YouTube. But that's the goal, is do film festival run. Hopefully, well, first of all, we got to get it finished first, then apply for film festivals before, you know, and during March and May of 2026, get selected, do private screenings, and then premiere it on YouTube in November. And then after that, it will be like, okay, so is it going to be eligible for an Oscar? Or maybe we can apply for other film festivals that, because I know there's like film festivals they'll accept, like if a finish was done like 2 years ago, they'll accept that. But right now, everything I mentioned, that's the goal right there. Now, rewinding back to the funding, like I said, it's kind of tough for me to provide myself the funding for that. So now I'm relying on reaching out to companies or small businesses to sponsor, support the documentary film. We got a sponsor that has sponsored one of the dance films for the documentary, and about to host a couple of fundraisers, in-person fundraisers in this year, 2025. And there is a special series that's happening on Crowdfundr, and that's Crowdfundr spelled without an E before R, that throughout the month of November, they're highlighting projects like our documentary film on their website. So anyone wants to find more about it, they can support through there. But that's, we're focusing on is trying to, you know, through crowdfunding and sponsorships to provide funding for the documentary. Right now, the goal is to raise $20,000, which will cover post-production, promotion. That's for like the advertisements, because it costs money to advertise. Maintenance fees, like running the website, right, running the subscription to edit the documentary. And our documentary film is fiscally sponsored. Shout out to Fractured Atlas. We do have a monthly fee from our fiscal sponsor to keep the project up on their website and, of course, keep the fundraiser going. So that's the reason why we're trying to raise funds for that. And last but certainly not least, we need to raise funds to cover the fees to apply for film festivals in 2026. And of course, if we reach past our goal of raising the funds, we'll probably save that fund for like other stuff for the documentary film and for future projects. Because I already have some other projects. I have a docuseries that I have in mind, but I don't want to jump far ahead right there. I need to finish what we started, and because that's like my toxic trait, is not finishing what I've started. So I need to finish the documentary film, but we need your help to finish the documentary film by supporting the documentary film. So there are these ways to support the documentary film. As I mentioned, our fiscal sponsor has set up a fundraiser. Shout out to Fractured Atlas. I think I already said that. You can send your donation through there. All donations are tax deductible. And I said earlier, Crowdfundr has their media in in Motion Spotlight series. We do have our fundraiser on there, but all donations that have been sent through there are not tax deductible. So, and it has a deadline because it's available through month of November. I'll put the links down below for both of our online fundraisers in the description. Another way you can help us support the documentary film, as I mentioned earlier, is sponsorships. If you're a small business owner, you run a company, or you're a creator, you can send all inquiries to projectmbfilm@gmail.com. Also, another way to support the documentary film is that we do have merch. And no, it's not this merch. This is Mythical's merch. But we do have merch on the website, projectmythicalbeastfilm.com/shop, where we have sweaters and we have Mythical Beast friendship bracelets and there's going to be lots of brand new merch created by Mythical Beasts themselves that will be posted there. So I think we're going to do another drop a little bit after Black Friday, so be on the lookout for that. Also, I do have a discount code that you buy the shirts or the bracelet, use PROUDNB, and you get 10% off your order. So just a little FYI, put it in the description down below. And like I said, every single donation that we receive will go towards everything I mentioned: post-production, promotion, maintenance fees, and application for film festivals. And anyone that is donated, whether donating in person, fundraisers, online, buying our merch, sponsorships, their names will be featured in the credits, and they will get special updates in regards relating to the documentary film, including where to see the film. But I won't post where the film will be premiering until we finish the film. So, anticipation. But yes, that's basically what it is. Oh, and I think I just said it, where the store is. But if you want to find more about the documentary film and go to the links to shop, go to the fundraisers, and find out the special events for the fundraisers, they'll be happening. I think they're going to be happening in Lower Alabama, but we are planning to do some of them will be fundraisers, some of them will be like Mythical Beast meetups, which I did 2 of them this year, which were really fun. But we are planning to do some Mythical Beast meetups as a way to get to know the fans, share some sneak peeks for the documentary film, and possibly a little opportunity to share their story for the documentary film. You can go to projectmythicalbeastfilm.com. And speaking of stories, sometime before the end of this month, November, there will be an opportunity where you can share your story through video. It will be announced later this month in November, and I think the videos have to be sent before the end of December. So when you look under, I think it's join, at projectmythicalbeastfilm.com/join, you can find out info about how you can share your story. If you're a Mythical Beast, share your story for the documentary film. And speaking of joining, there will be a special dance challenge happening very, very soon. And I said earlier, there's dancing in this documentary film, and there are 7 of them. Well, 6 of them are high quality, big dance production numbers done to Rhett and Link's music. The 7th one is very special. This is where you get to be part of it. So somewhere around next week, I'm filming this on November 3rd, and you're probably watching this on November 3rd. Sometime around next week, I think after Veterans Day, which is November 11th, November 12th, there will be a special announcement and a little bit of a dance cover for this special dance challenge. And then just a few days after that will be tutorials. And I'm saying tutorials because there's 2 different versions of this dance. There is a shorter version and a longer version, which is made for dancers that want to push the limits, explore more of their creativity. And you can go solo, you can do it with groups, you can do it with your BFF. If you know, you know. But it's a chance that you can learn the dance, whether it's the simple version or the longer version, and you can post it on social media or you can send it in. But the details will be posted sometime mid-November after the announcement. And it will be shared on my social media, Rapha Conrad, on my YouTube channel, it's not a production page, it's basically a hub where I'm going to now be sharing updates relating to the documentary fair. It's a documentary called Raw Movement Arts. I'll put the link to that Instagram down below so you can give it a follow. And of course, it'll be posted on the website, projectmythicalbeastfilm.com/join, where you also find the info about how to share your story for the documentary and the dance challenge. So I think that is probably it right here, as in this update video right here, which I am going to probably update all of you and probably share some behind the scenes content, little sneak peeks of the documentary as time goes by as the process. Oh, and also, if you probably seen, I did one episode of my limited series podcast called An Undoubtedly Spectacularly Mythical Journey, which I premiered it in the spring, but as things happened, and even though I tried to make it happen, it was tough. But I can now say that next week, November 14th, which is a Friday, the second episode of the podcast, An Undoubtedly Spectacularly Mythical Journey, will be premiering on next Friday, November 14th. And this one will be the podcast, and I'm saying limited series podcast, because it is considered a companion to the documentary film. And I will talk about the scheduling when that episode premieres next Friday. But this podcast will be giving viewers or listeners insight about the process from yours truly on making this documentary film possible. And every single episode will premiere, depending on the schedule, right up until the documentary premieres on YouTube next year. So it's going to be not too rushed out, not to be numerous episodes. There will be a certain amount, but like I said, once that episode premieres, I will share details on the scheduling for that. And of course, I won't be just talking to you, sharing my thoughts and perspectives about it. I will have special guests, some of my creative team members of the documentary film, part of few episodes. So just make sure you be on the lookout for the second episode of An Undoubtedly Spectacularly Mythical Journey, premiering next Friday, November 14th. I hope I'm saying it right, because November 11th is Tuesday, November 14th is Friday. Did I mention this is unedited, people? So yeah, I think that is it for this video right here. I do want to say thank you so much for the support in not just my creative journey, but for the documentary. If you supported the film, or you have worked, or you're working with me on the documentary film, thank you, thank you, thank you times, let's just say 3,000, because Good Mythical Morning is going to premiere their 3,000th episode in March. Say it with me, people. Time flies by, and I just couldn't have done this without your love and support. And of course, if you're working with me, your creative gifts that you've shared, helping me making this possible. And of course, thanks to Rhett and Link and everyone in Mythical Entertainment for their support and collaborating with me on the documentary film, especially the interview with Rhett and Link, which is like, still cannot believe it. But it's still, I still get speechless every time I think about that. But thank you, everyone, including Rhett and Link, for your support and collaboration with me. If you enjoyed this video, click that like button. It really does wonders. Also, if you want to be on the lookout for new content, especially new updates on the documentary and the long-awaited episode of the season 2 finale of Wandering Wonder Through the Wonder Hole, which will be premiering this Friday, November 7th, day before my birthday, by the way. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell. And if you want even more content created by yours truly, make sure you follow me on Instagram at Rapha Conrad. Plus, for updates on the documentary film, make sure you follow my creative hub at Raw Movement Arts. And of course, you check out the website, projectmythicalbeastfilm.com, to find more about and how you can support the documentary film, get the merch, find out where everything is happening, especially fundraisers, meetups, all that jazz hands. Go to projectmythicalbeastfilm.com. All right, well, that's it right here. I will see you on Friday with the season 2 finale episode of Wandering Through Wonderhole, and the other next Friday for episode 2 of the podcast, An Undoubtedly Spectacular Mythical Journey. And of course, I will post a lot of YouTube shorts here and there and all that. But I'll see you again very, very soon. And remember, keep the faith, give love, and be random. Bye.